The country's first political party, the Partido Federalista, was founded by Filipino elite politicians in 1900 to facilitate clientelistic relations with their American colonial patrons. It was established long before the holding of the first national election under American colonial rule. Building on their base of local notables, caciques, and political clans, the Americans gradually introduced elections from the municipality in 1901 to the province in 1902, the national legislature in 1907, and culminating in presidential elections under the Philippine Commonwealth in 1935. By the time the first election for the national legislature was held in 1907, colonial support had already shifted to a younger set of provincial-based political leaders who formed the Nacionalista Party. The anti-sedition law of 1901 and the crackdown on left-wing parties after the Second World War inhibited the formation of a counter-elite along ideological and class-based lines. Hence, political parties became the vehicle for elite interests. The Federal Party was established in 1900 as the first Filipino political party. Political parties have existed in one form or another since the first party system, dominated by the Nacionalista Party, was established under the tutelage of the American colonial regime from 1900 to 1941. Soon after, a formal two-party system from 1946 to 1972 buttressed the post-colonial Liberal Democratic regime with the NP and the Liberal Party alternating in power. This system was destroyed by Ferdinand Marcos and replaced with a one-party dictatorship from 1972 to 1986 under the kilusang Bagong Lipunan. The restoration of formal democracy in 1986 saw the emergence of a fluid, multi-party system. Practically all of the country's active political parties occupy the center-right of the political spectrum and pursue electoral struggle. Several factions of the Philippine left occupy the center-left space and pursue both electoral and mass struggle. The Philippines has also experienced a history of mass uprising by armed social movements. The most durable among these armed conflicts is led by the Communist Party of the Philippines, which has waged an armed struggle against the Philippine Republic since 1968. The Communist or National Democratic Movement in the Philippines emerged from the labor movement and was nurtured by poverty and agrarian unrest. The separatist struggle was waged by the Moro National Liberation Front and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. The Philippine government has undergone a protracted process of peace negotiations with these armed movements for 3 decades. Party switching is widely practiced in the Philippines. There are 2 types of political parties that most Filipino politicians affiliate with. One during the electoral period to raise campaign funds, and another when serving their term of office to have access to patronage. An average of 33% district representatives switched parties between 1987 to 2016. Majority or 60% have switched to a dominant party. Party switching has fueled the rise of monolithic parties that have dominated several presidential administrations in the past 3 decades. From the kilusang Bagong Lipunan under Ferdinand Marcos to the Laban ng Demokratikong Pilipino during the term of Corazon Aquino, followed by the Lakas NUCD-UMDP founded by Fidel Ramos, the Laban ng Makabayang Masang Pilipino of Joseph Estrada, the Kabalikat ng Malayang Pilipino of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, the Liberal Party under Benigno Aquino III, and the PDP Laban under Rodrigo Duterte. The incidence of party switching in the House of Representatives from the 8th to 17th Congress between 1987 and 2019 revealed that an average of 32% of district representatives elected to the House shifted parties. This rate of party switching during this period is at par with the Italian case, where approximately a quarter of the members of the Italian lower house switched parties at least once during the 1996 to 2001 legislature, and the Brazilian case, where more than 1/3 of the MPs elected in 1986 had transferred from one party to another by the late 1990s.